Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, we're just leaving our adolescence, heading into our youth in the life and suffering of Sir Brant, leaving home. Just read through this short prologue as we're beginning our journey to the capital. Let's see what happens here. It hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the imperial capital. You have often read about it and heard stories from Father and Stefan. It is a city that surpasses Anizotti enormously in terms of size, age, and wealth. What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn there, and what will your actions take you? Where will your actions take you? You pass the old walls of Anizotti, and somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Thomas built together out of old wooden planks, now left to the care of your younger brothers. You two are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble, now abandoned, or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars from street antics, fingers stained with ink. Mother gave you a cross to wear away from home, and now you feel its warmth against your chest. Your family counts on you, even though they all wish a different future for you. But they are behind you now in Anizotti. From this point on, only you will decide which road you will take. This is the journey you prepared for throughout your entire childhood. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and place in society. Alright. Alright, so terrible theology skills, but I have a split between noble and commoner abilities. Chapter outcomes. Okay, so I can become Path of the Lotless. You remain in the commoner's estate with no choice but to depend for yourself and make your own way in the world. Path of the Priest. Enroll in seminary. So I don't have the qualifications from that, so Path of the Priest is locked. Path of the Nobleman. Okay. Diplomacy or Valor at least 10. Wow. Alright. I need to work on that quick. True Death. Oh wow. Okay, I need to be careful. Aaliyah's rescue. You saved the enigmatic singer known as the Golden Voice from an untimely death. Class of the Lotless. You failed to protect the Lotless. The Empire utterly destroys the secret society. Okay. The Lotless at large. You rescue the Lotless. The secret society continues its activities in the capital. Okay. Bond of friendship. You and Thomas form an unbreakable bond of friendship. Shield of the New Faith. You side with the New Faith and support the transformation of the church. Yeah. This is okay. So, we're planning to be a judge. We're planning to be a hero of the people, but do it through law and order. We need to get valor. We need to get diplomacy up quick, or oh my goodness, or we'll never get into the college. Alright, Valor's at 7. So, yeah. We need to get Valor up quick. It takes a whole month to reach Eterna. You and Thomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery as your carriage makes its way along the road toward the next province. Soon it crosses from the familiar barren, arid lands of Magara to the stately mountains of Illyria. During one of your many stays at a roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine and keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Adult life feels positively intoxicating. Soon, I tell you, soon we'll be there, and I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy. You'll see, and then no one's gonna talk all over me like I'm some commoner. You keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon, you are almost at the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magara, the mountains of Illyria, and the flooded meadows of Aquinia. Eterna capital is right ahead. Situated in the junction between Gintia and Telleria River, the city is vast. 3 majestic stone bridges keep its 3 shores interconnected. Smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded molding decorates the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park with marble foundations and intricately trimmed bushes. On the streets, you see ornately decorated carriages bearing the Arcadian coat of arms, and abundant merchants' tents filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. The spires of ancient temples dot the city skyline. The carriage comes to a halt on a large city square with towering marble fountain. The coachman says you have arrived. Thomas is to apply to the military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. The room has always been reserved for you. You get out onto the street and say brief goodbye to each other. You promise to meet again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of Crapple. You're left to your own devices in the vast city. The merchants are walking past. They are dressed in well-fitting clothes decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chase a dog down the alleyway. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marched to fifes and drums toward the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are sounds of music and fountains and the smells of baked bread and garbage drains. You quickly check in at the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. The streetlights come to life. Merry music fill the taverns. Couples and nobles, coaches, and with tinted windows fill the streets. Shadow and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone with this city, so vast and unfamiliar. You take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. You see young nobles gathered by the fountain, talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored, and 2 of them bear noble swords. They seem to be waiting for something. It might be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be helpful to develop a familiarity with the influential nobles of the capital. Loud music in the bar distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside. People from various estates greet each other as they take their seats. The servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Gwent Arkwright will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you wish to listen, you'd better get inside quick. Then you look at the great temple of the twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open. The worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith and the teaching of Patriarch Photis? You snap out of your reverie and you hear a loud laughter. A group of young men dressed in the colors of the Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely girls. They're making their way down the road, united by merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It is an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away. You could still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly, loud fun doesn't sound half bad. This is your first night in Eterna. No matter what you choose, you will remember it for a long time to come. Okay, we need to get into the Imperial College. We need to get, not into the Imperial College, but we need to get into become a noble of the mantle. And in order to do that, we have to at least be a mediocre fighter. We have to at least have 10 valor or 10 diplomacy. This is paramount to our success. So valor. What's the most valorous thing? Probably the nobles. This seems like it's made for those that want to pursue a lotless career. This is meant for those that want to pursue a spiritual career. This is meant for someone that wants to have some fun, maybe get some willpower. I don't know. And then it's clear. There's only one choice. Arrival in the capital. You approach the young nobles and you introduce yourself tactfully. Your father, a judge, has sent you here to study, you explain. With a mind showing you around the capital, the nobles eye you uncertainly and whisper to each other. You prepare to face their rejection, but to your surprise, they agree. When the clock tower strikes 8, your new acquaintances proceed to a rich house not too far away. Candlelight fills the halls before you, reflect in abundant mirrors and gilded picture frames. Manservants bring drinks and refreshments to every guest. There are the sounds of music and laughter and small talk. Here and there you see couples dancing to the music. It appears you have made it to a small noble party. Nobles are gathering in groups. You take the time to get introduced to each of them and join in their small talk. Some discuss their studies at the college, while others relay fresh gossip. Have you heard that a Melendez carriage was seen in the city the other day? You mention how you once encountered Octavia Melendez, daughter and heiress to the Archduke of Bagra, at a square in Anazinti. These words draw a small crowd. The Melendez dynasty rarely, if ever, visits Eterna. They say it is the only house that can stand its ground against the Imperial Tempest dynasty. One young man even allows himself a little joke. They say that great Arcanian houses turn to a Melendez only when a Tempest needs to be refused. After all, only the Melendez dynasty still knows how to say no. But there is no more. It turns out all humans owe the Melendez dynasty for their foray into nobility. Char Melendez was the Arcanian who opened the first college, and its graduates were the first to be ennobled by the mantle. To feed and nourish their barren land, the Dukes of Magra took to industry and began adopting innovative industrial social practices. The dynasty's motto is remembrance and majesty, but strife and change would suit them better. Then the nobles start discussing the other great Arcanian dynasties. The Tempest dynasty is the first of the first, naturally marked by the twins, anointed to rule. All Tempests are known for their sincerity, often bordering on a volatile temper. Yet it is this very passion that has led them throughout history. The Tempests have been chosen by the gods to rule the empire. The Diamant dynasty are the main supporters of the emperor's family, honor personified. The Diamants preside at the Arcanian courts of honor that remain throughout the empire in spite of the public taboo. These courts hold more sway over the laws and lives of the nobility than imperial edicts or prefectural authorities. Some mention Patriarch Junius Diamant, the black sheep of his own dynasty. He preaches the new faith that rejects the lots and stirs the minds of the common folk. The Orgriff dynasty is another noble bloodline favored by the emperor. They zealously advocate the twins' faith and seek the empire as the union between the heaven and earth. Every year, the Orgriffs donate enough funds to build new temples across the empire. The Monrogue dynasty is an ancient and controversial name. The Monrogues often speak in favor of removing humans from nobility, restoring nobility as a solely Arcanian privilege, and returning all human-marked offices in the empire to the Arcanians. Many gossipers accuse the Monrogues of plotting against the rule of the Tempests and bring back the old Arcanian Republic and the joint rule of the great Arcanian dynasty as it exists long before the emperors first came to be. The discussion of courtly affairs and noble dynasties soon give way to cultured entertainment. Expensive wine flows like water. You too ask a couple of noble ladies to dance and show your skill. You return to your lodging room in the small hours of the night with just enough strength left to undress before your aching head and feet make you collapse. Alright. What the heck? Diplomacy and manipulation go up? Oh no. Am I not even going to be able to get into the college? Arrival at the capital. We arrive in Eterna, the ancient capital of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Luke's sermon. I've spent the last 3 days studying books, but today you decide to take a walk through the streets of Eterna. They are full of life as usual. Proceed to the squares next to the lodging house. A procession of priests walks through the square. You notice that one of them holds a banner of the new faith, an open book. This is the same banner that was behind Patriarch Fotis on the day of his assassination. The crowd immediately gathers around them. Many people are looking at an icon painting on a small pedestal depicting a gray-haired man with glowing green eyes. You recognize that face, the face of the late Patriarch Fotis. A man with a thick beard appears by the icon painting, his broad shoulders, wearing a white and gold cloak with a coat of arms of the capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Arcania. He casts his stern gaze over the crowd. I speak to all who live within the sight of the shining pillar. Exactly 1 year ago, we lost Fotis, Patriarch of the Maghreb province, mentor of the new faith. Patriarch Fotis was the first to see the books of Asintius as nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people to seek the path to the gods in their own hearts instead of blindly following the lots, to seek answers in the lives of the twins and their own lives rather than the words of priests. Through Patriarch Fotis, we are able to see the truth. Through his death, we saw that his words are not heresy. They are not true. They are the truth. They used to obscure by Asintius' lies, and now I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Dimas has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamant, an Arcanian from a great dynasty and patriarch of Estina, has joined the new faith himself. And through this, we hope that the entire empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. For each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day the entire empire will hear our call. So let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thank the twins, not for the lot they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels your hand to meet in a sign of prayer. It compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and your heart beats in time with it now. You recall the murder of Patriarch Fotis a year ago. It seems more patriarchs share his doctrine now. The news of Junius Daima joining the new faith is stunning. If an Arcanian from a great dynasty has sided with Fotis' doctrine and agreed to see everyone as equals under the twins, the new faith must truly be putting down roots. Suddenly, several figures appeared by the podium, figures clad in black, with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors. They push through the crowd and form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of these priests rises from the crowd. He is a clean-shaven, tall, with chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. He is clean-shaven. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. Father Ulrich says, I am Father Ulrich. In the name of the twins and by my right as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you're hearing are full of lies. Patriarch Luke has set out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path in life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Most people leave the square immediately. They want to get involved with the Inquisition. Few want to get involved with the Inquisition. Some people stay, however, and some even shout angrily, we want to listen to Luke. He is the Patriarch of Arcania. He has more to say. Get away from our sermon, old believers. We will not listen to you and your horribly old lies about the lots. Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen back to their lots and leave the others to the champions of the faith. The black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium and approach the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and start listening. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it into smaller groups that surround each Inquisitor. One of these Inquisitors chooses to approach you. He is a humble-looking man of age with a rough haircut. He looks you straight in the eye as his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to his words despite yourself. My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by Patriarch's words. You are not sure who to trust. I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of the twins my entire life. You can trust me. I can hear what I have to say. I see their light in your eyes, the light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, my son? You feel no malice in the words of the Inquisitor Jeremiah, only hope. It is his lot to aid you and guide you away from the error and set you on a path of the true faith. He is a priest, so he should know the path, the truth. Or perhaps the Inquisitor himself is in the wrong. God, I cannot remember. Do I listen to his counsel? 3 choices. Listen to his counsel, you accept the Inquisitor's counsel. You debate him, you argue against the Inquisitor in favor of the new faith, or resist him, you refuse to be ordered around by him. It is not the clergy's place to give orders. I selected this in the last playthrough, but I can't remember if it gives valor. We really need valor. Or diplomacy. Either one is fine. I am going to try to... I'm going to resist him. I'm going to see if this gives me some valor. Standing up for the nobles. You strike a pose of authority and eye Father Jeremiah sharply. Inquisitors cannot order people around, you say. It is not within the right lot of the clergy. Only nobles can give you orders. The other commoners look at you in terror. You have justified an inquisitor. However, Father Jeremiah still looks at you without any anger you had expected. My son, your words do indeed contain a germ of truth. I am an inquisitor of the clergy, and by the will of the twins, I cannot give you any orders. You know this. The Inquisition does not imprison anyone suspected of heresy. We exist to protect souls and to guide and save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul we meet. Arrest or execution is our last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I am merely speaking to you right now. I have not resorted to force, nor am I giving you any orders. But if the need arises, I will summon the champions of faith, nobles who have been given, who will be there to give orders and punish those who defy the church. But as long as you are not calling for the overthrow of faith, you are safe from them. And as you said, it is not within my lot to give you orders. You are free to go, but expect no mercy in the hereafter. For after we die, there will be none. Okay, diplomacy up to 8. We're getting there. We're getting there. With a bitter smile, the Inquisitor leaves you and proceeds further. You leave the square freely, your dignity preserved. The remaining people in the square continue arguing with the other Inquisitors. Armed champions of faith stand by, but they do not intervene. Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. Only one thing keeps nagging at you. Father Jeremiah's word about how there will be no mercy in the hereafter. Year 1134, Fall, the advance of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermons have converted many commoners and nobles of the mantle to the new faith. There are now several temples in Eterna that follow the new canons. With Luke's blessing, this has led to no small amount of anger among the followers of the new faith. 2 mighty bishops of the church lead the new faith. One of them is Luke, the Patriarch of Arcania, himself a spiritual mentor of the capital province, who preaches all across Arcania, his every sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of the new faith is Patriarch Junius Diamond. Hailing from a great Arcanian dynasty, he is the de facto ruler of the Estenia province. Adored by his subject, he has founded the new order anew. Junius Diamond rarely preaches, but people believe the Estinian Patriarch attends to the needs of all who convert to the new faith. The schism within the church is growing. The split has further divided between the commoners and nobles, though thankfully there has been no direct conflict as of yet. But it has become clear that there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Fotis, it grows stronger by the day. City that never sleeps. The next few weeks pass by in hard work and preparation for the incoming entrance exam at the Imperial College. You grow more and more exhausted with each passing day, so much so that one night you fall asleep while studying another book. When you finally come to, you decide it is high time to get some recreation outside. No, it's not. It is not, okay? We need the valor and we need diplomacy up to 10, or we won't get into the Imperial College. Come on. Oh my goodness. The city of Eterna amazes you as you stroll through its splendid streets. It's another night, a different night, yet the city is beautiful still. The shining pillar is a slice of light against the dark night sky, and the lamps on the facades of the buildings are lit. Night descends on the capital. You don't feel like going back to your books tonight. Recently, you made acquaintances with several young men. They are children of the nobles of Mantles, just like you, and sent to the capital to earn their noble titles at the college. You decide to seek them out. Your new friends are having a late discussion on their next street over, loudly discussing their plans for the night. Some speak eagerly of a dueling club where you can seek the most skilled and ardent duelers in the Empire, doing what they do best. You have never seen professional duelers fight. It must be far more exciting than father fencing lessons or the fight in the ruins of Nizuti. And if luck favors you, perhaps you can even make useful contacts among the noble families in the capital. Yes, diplomacy, please. The others try to convince you the rest to take a trip to a certain secret salon. The establishment is expecting a guest tonight. They say a young lady who speaks about the true state of affairs in the Empire. There are many questions about the nature of the place and identity of the mysterious speaker, but the young men have only one answer. They are forbidden to speak about this outside the club. However, they can take you there as long as you aren't afraid to learn a dangerous truth. And there are others drinking their fill of wine rather than eating. Fencing, they say, speeches, nonsense. The place you ought to go tonight, they claim, is the Macaria Society, gathering for those of the common estate, but uncommon opinions that offer pleasures for everyone. Pleasures of the palate, pleasures of the drink, pleasures of the flesh. Is this not heresy and a crime? Perhaps. And yet some of your newfound friends are eager to go there. In the end, your group splits into three to spend the night as they see fit. What will it be? A contest featuring the best fencers in Eterna, an establishment both mysterious and dangerous, or an encounter with people who defy their lot with audacity? With audacity. You weigh your options. It's obvious it could be the dueling club. I need diplomacy, I need valor, or we'll never get in. I mean, it's as simple as that. You march down the street toward the dueling club, which is located in a manor house decorated rather modestly on the outside, but lavishly on the inside. One of your newfound friends nods to the servants, and they let you in. The rooms are stuffy, noisy, and filled with tobacco smoke. The sitting room is enormous. In the center is an arena, a circle with wooden railings. Two young nobles are fighting there already. You take a glass of wine from a servant and watch them fight from one of the many soft chairs. You cannot bear a sword yet, but no one says you cannot watch. As soon as a dueler is wounded, the fight ends, but the way they fight still makes the audience gasp and scream in awe. When a dueler is too slow to dodge, the duel ends with a bright red line cut through his sweat-soaked white shirt. The thin fencing swords cut through the air so quickly, you only see glints of flashing steel. Like lightning in a storm, you do your best to remember all the feints and tricks you see tonight. This will come in handy when you earn your own sword. But then a tall, young Arcadian enters the room. He barges in front of you and leaps into the arena between the two fencers, thus ending the duel. He bears a coat of arms with a griffin. The Arcadians hail from the great dynasty of Orgriff. The Arcadian voice booms as he challenges everyone in the audience to a duel. He sneers smugly. If you consider yourself nobles, then how about you face an Arcadian lord in honorable combat? No one moves, no one dares step forth. A duel with an Arcadian is suicide, especially if that Arcadian hails from one of the great dynasties. Such a duel will end with a lesser death at best, or with true death through trial and execution at worst. Everyone knows the punishment for spilling blue blood, so everyone remains silent. The Arcanian grins. So humans are cowards, he says. You will never be true nobles if you are never ready to risk a lesser death. Then Arcanian honor and tradition is not for you, and war is not your domain either. For human nobles are but a mockery, a gathering of animals dressed to resemble higher beings. A man leaps into the arena. He is tall as a tree. He is as tall as a tree. His pockmarked face is white with rage and covered in scars. There are whispers of reverence in the audience. This is Marth Ferasti, the owner of the club. He has accepted the challenge for the honor of all human nobles. He has yearned to fight an Arcanian all his life. Now is his chance. The duelers salute each other, and Sir Ferasti begins the attack. A lunge, a jab, and another, and then another. The young Arcanian deflects each attack like he knows his opponent's every move. Sir Ferasti's eyes twitch with tension. The owner of the club lunges again, but the Arcanian deflects his sword and rips the weapon out of the human's hand. Marth Ferasti looks at the Arcanian infusion, then bows his head in recognition of his defeat. The Orgriff youth flashes a proud, superior grin. His fencing sword lifts the sleeve of his defeated opponent. It bears 3 black marks of lesser death. Now the young Arcanian eyes Sir Ferasti with a mockery of sadness and compassion. Why, it appears the poor, overeager ex-commoner is on his last life. Ferasti shudders. He asks the Orgriff's youth to be so kind as to spare his life, nobleman to nobleman. The Arcanian face grows dark and grim. His sword stabs deep into Ferasti's chest. Then the Orgriff's youth speaks, loud enough for everyone to hear. He is the only noble in this hall, he says, and everyone who saw this must forget the dueling club ever existed and leave this place, never to return. The nobles scowl, dress reluctantly, and leave it with quiet resentment. No one dares to defy the Arcanian openly. The noble gathering disperses outside. You return to your lodging house, lost in thought. Arcanians stand far above humans. They do not care if you are a commoner or a high-ranking noble. In their eyes, you are only a human. It seems there is nothing that can readily oppose Arcanian power. They are the masters of the world. The humans are pale reflections of them at best. The trip to the dueling club ended on a grim note, but you learned a lot from watching Eterna's best duelers in action. You recall their lunges and blocks before you sleep, rather than the master of the dueling club being murdered in cold blood. Alright, Valor up to 8. Alright, we just gotta boost it 2 more. One of them gotta boost 2 by 2 points. Year 1135, Spring, the Code of Laws. You are on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exam. It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everyone is excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you. You head toward the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The great chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune guard, guarded by 2 Arcanians armed with swords. This is the first time you have seen an Arcanian standing guard, let alone 2 of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Arcanian surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, great chancellor of the empire, younger brother to the emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Arcanians' arrival. The 2 nations built the empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magara was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Yet there was another great event long before that. 4 centuries ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law, and they granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They choose the dynasty of the Tempest to rule the empire, and from that day forth our dynasty has ruled this land ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake. but rather to lead the empire to further prosperity. And so the great imperial council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all imperial citizens to obey, human or Arcanian, from the lowest commoner to the emperor himself. The strife among the estates will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the empire. The great chancellor throws his arms into the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sound of agitated discussions are everywhere. Is it true that the emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the empire then? The girl from your past. It is early morning. You have been awake since sunrise studying. There is a knock at your door. Is it a letter from home? A hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Hello, Brant, Sophia says. Before you stand Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She is all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around, and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her, but the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There is cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time, ever since I ran away from Elizanti. I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to get into the college, so I found you, and here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival and where you're staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter back when Sophia ran away from her Arcanian master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I traveled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It's a place where I can finally make a difference. I have made friends here. I've found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts. I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight against those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came for you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart. And besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. I'm not sure you have faith in my good heart. I tried to arrest you. There is a scholar here by the name of Bartholomew Dextra. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dextra is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. But as you know, only second-generation nobles are allowed to teach at the college. But Dextra, he is a commoner. He forced his patent of nobility to get a position at the college. But the secret chancellery recently learned of this. Dextra is about to face true death for his forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people. For this, they're going to take all his lives. They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate. It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dextra deserves to be rescued. But I do not want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help. You're from a rich family, you're almost a noble. If you help me get Dextra out of the city, no one will expect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere. Far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me? You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save the scholar. Rescuing her, Dextra would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous. But besides, Dextra is a fake noble. He resorts to lies and deceit to get his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. Do I help her? Do I refuse? What do you think? Should I refuse? Should I assuage my guilt? I'm okay with either one, as long as I get into the Imperial College. We're 8-8 right now. I can't remember if this particular event benefits us by giving us stats or not. If I refuse, is that valor? I think maybe it'll improve diplomacy if I refuse. I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Girlfriend, no, you say. You are not going to help Sophia. You are not going to break any laws for his sake. You did not come to the capital for this. Dextra, a fake noble, deserves his death. He tried to fool the law, the college, and the empire itself. Even a scientific genius must be punished for such fraudery and deception. He had a paper that said he was a noble, but only a sacrament can make a person a noble. So Dextra's crime is also an affront to the gods themselves. Sophia leaps to her feet, her eyes burning with wrath, about to shine with yellow light again. You cringe involuntarily. Your law makes slaves of us all. We are born, we live, and we die, all to serve those who were born in a higher estate. Is this the order you want to protect? The fire in Sophia's eyes fades. She suddenly grows silent, then continues calmly. Then so be it. I don't blame you. It's not easy to break these chains when you're wearing them ever since you were born. They bind you better than any magic. I hope you realize this before our great empire chews you and spits you out. Goodbye. Sophia leaves, the door shuts behind her. You return to your books. The entrance exam is coming up, and you have to work hard if you want to achieve your goals. Yep. So Sophia hates this even more. A few days later, a newspaper article catches your eye. Bartholomew Dextra, an elderly lecturer at the Imperial College, was arrested while attempting to escape the capital. The scholar was sentenced to breaking on the wheel and subsequently true death for forging a patent of nobility. And so the fake noble suffered in death as he was supposed to suffer in life. Okay, we got valor, we got diplomacy. It was a terrible price, but we got the stats that mattered.
I will never forget that day. For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
There are only a few days left until the Imperial College entrance exam. History, law, theology, you spent all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, staying at the library of Eterna for hours, sometimes until it closes. As the day of the exam approaches, your hand starts shaking more and more, and finally the days come. The clear sky hangs over Eterna today, the breeze is warm, you dress in your best outfit, a draped jacket and velvet coated trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Okay. Double nines. We need diplomacy. We need valor. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can already see several dozen people, young men, sons of nobles of the mantle. Like you, waiting for the college doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean to the college. The students fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Arcanian officers. The banners bear an image of golden grains. The noble militia of Monia province? What are they doing here? The nobles of Mania form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Arcanians is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He is the leader of the militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, then loudly proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly. Commoners, before you stands Agarius of the Mongrog dynasty, Archduke of Monia. By my will, the college is hereby closed, and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honor of rendering service to the Empire, a right that ought to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong to the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and the other traitors of the Empire are indulging you and defacing the institutions of the nobility for their lowly interests. The noble lot for those of lowly birth. How can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of imperial order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to your humble trades of your ancestors. Plow your fields, mend your books, and work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dare to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once. The students to be meet the speech with stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Manian noble militia and the college's closing spreads through the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd. College students, commoners, officials who work hard to be a noble. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush Archduke Munger's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Empire himself gave us that right. We have to fight for it. This is the decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful, illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college, and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you are ready to risk it all and fight for your right to the nobility, you will have to lead the charge. People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the divine ceremony. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the states clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militias and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the warrior nobles and the riotous commoners to return to the preordained divine order, lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods, as the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears, a vision appears before your eyes. The empire is ablaze. You see burning land steeped with pain and despair everywhere. You look, rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell the soil scorched by such fire will never bear fruit again. Oof. The gods' given vision demand to be heard, demand to be prophesied to the world, but only a priest may speak to the twins and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto the path that the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop. So you're here too. Gonna rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The law cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it away. It's time for you to decide. We are the lotless. We are not putting up with this system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Mongrel will maintain this siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny. Tension in the square is public, and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles in the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. The Lotless, led by Sophia, prepare to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. All the while, the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is the only way into nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your destiny to your family. You could organize a strong offensive enough to get into the college and thus seize your rightful right like a true nobleman. Yet the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path, standing with the priests and preaching what you have just seen, warning all of the dire danger on the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' words to the world and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophia and the Lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They are waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot, and your suffering will continue. But your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future will be decided here and now. Unbelievable. I have to choose Lotless with a person that completely hates me. Oh my god, Sophia's gonna kill me. The 3 lots, you have decided. The storm of doubt in your mind clears at last. You are done serving the will of the law others. You will defy your lot, and you do not need another. You are free already, and for this freedom you are ready to sacrifice anything. You walk to the Lotless as Sophia smiles at you softly. Her companions pat you on the shoulder and then you get to work. The Lotless withdraw from the mob in the square and prepare for the raid. They are strong people of lowly birth, and their clothes are covered in dirt and soot. They hang on Sophia's every word. So the plan is simple. I will go to the warriors by the side gate and distract them. You know me, I have my ways. The rest of you must get inside the college and lead the people outside. When you are done, wait for my signal. Sparks of yellow flash in Sophia's eyes. She walks with confidence to the nobles guarding the side gate. They meet her with drawn swords, and then a flash of yellow light fills their eyes. The warriors freeze in place. Sophia walks away, and they follow her obediently. The path is clear. You hear one of the Lotless gasp in awe. That our owl is all right. Only she can do that. It's time. You open the gate and get inside the college, leaving the cries of the mob behind. Nobody stops you. Once this is done, you scatter to search for students and professors. They are not too eager to trust the trespassing commoners, but with the Arcanian swords hanging over their heads, they trust you anyway. Your student garb helps to convince them. You take everyone you can find out the college through the same unguarded gate. The Lotless take a roll call in the alleyway behind the college. You rescued almost 24. Sophia is the last to reach you. It's time to leave. The maze of hidden alleyways takes you safely to a patch of abandoned land. Sophia clambers up onto the half-crumpled wall of the old house. She lights her pipe and gestures confidently for everyone to come closer. Welcome all. We are the Lotless. We are the people who will never stand for the injustices of the imperial system. We live as we see fit. We have no masters, only our own free will. Join our ranks and you will be forever free from the whims of the Arcanians and the gentry. Walk away and they will be free to do as with you as they see fit. I believe today was a fair show of their intentions. The freed students exchange glances, and if they join, their hopes of being ennobled by the mantle will be cut short. But they already saw how precarious the position is. Many of them are enraged by the fact that the Arcanians can take their rights whenever they please. We won't force you to stay. You're free to leave and go back to the college when it opens, if it opens. But if you don't want to dance to their tune anymore, the Lotless welcome you. Many students join the ranks of the Lotless that day. You are among them. You are greeted by the motto of the Lotless. Our cause is just. Your new life has begun. Your life as a member of an outlaw brotherhood. There is no going back. You will be neither nobleman nor priest. Your father will never forgive you for letting the family down, but for the first time in your life, you feel truly free. You have defied your lot. Now your fate is yours alone. What will happen next? Oh my god. What the... Oh my goodness. Everything I worked for, gone. Okay. Well, adapt and conquer. Adapting to this new lot. Let's go! Path of the Lotless. Remain a commoner. You remain in the common estate with no choice but to fend for yourself and make your own way in the world. return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for the move to your new home. A young man dressed in uniform in the military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognize Thomas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brant, hey, how are you? I heard about the nasty stuff that went down in the college, swear. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep low-born folk under their thumb. Glad the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. He's beaming with pride. You invite him in for a chat while you pack. Thomas continues to relay the news as you walk up the stairs. I made it into the top 10. Can you imagine? I did pretty well in sparring and sciences. It was all thanks to your help you gave me back in school in Anizote. I'll be studying the art of war now, and then it'll be a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Thomas about what happened over the past few days, and the path you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realize you may never see each other again. You know, Brant, here's what I think. You have your own path in life, you, my friend. We gotta make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I brought 2 brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both rings and their wearers will remain close to each other, will always remain close to each other, no matter what fate takes them. What do you say? The 2 of you grew up side by side. Thomas, the audacious, hot-tempered, sharp-tongued boy who lived next door. You can't imagine your childhood without him. But would it be right to promise him that your friendship will last no matter what happens? 2 rings made of plain brass lie in the open palm. If you wear these rings, you will be bound by the ties of friendship the rest of your life. So I can take the ring, things as they are, or end the friendship. I'll take the ring. Take one of the rings from the outstretched palm. The 2 of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even though your paths in life may diverge, nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You are ready to preserve your friendship in brass forever. You put the brass ring on your pinky, a perfect fit. Thomas does the same. He starts beaming again. Now we're friends forever, for all eternity. We gotta celebrate this. Come, I know a place I gotta show you. The tastiest meat I've ever tried. Brant, my treat. The 2 of you go to a noble salon by the square of the Emperor's Servant. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and mead bottles, you wag your tongue and recall the days of your adolescence and make plans for the future. No one knows what could be waiting for you, but we promise each other you will never lose sight of each other. Form an unbreakable bond of friendship. Well, a letter from home. You write a letter home and tell them you failed to get into the college. There is no other way. Father had learned everything one way or another. It isn't an really easy letter to write. He did send you to the capital specifically to attend the college after all. You write about Archduke Munro's assault and the student's doubtful future now that the right to be ennobled by the mantle may be revoked. You tell them that you plan to get a job in the capital and earn a living. They should accept your choice. The reply from your family arrives very quickly. We sent you to the capital with the sole purpose, but you failed. Indeed, nobody expected an attack on the college, but you could have upheld your right to study there and had you been more firm. Cornelius Tempest will ensure the college opens again, yet you have already rejected the nobleman's lot, and to what end? I can only accept your choice now, but you will no longer receive any support from the family. It is up to you to earn your keep. I can only hope that you will not disappear in the capital. Stephen Brant says, this entire siege incident is nothing but a poor excuse. You failed to uphold your right to enter the college, and that is the end of it. It cost Father so much time and money to send you to the capital, and you rejected it all. And for what? To remain a commoner until the end of your days? I hope you would one day become my equal, but now the very thought of this is just absurd. And there's another letter. It's from Gloria. It seems neither Father nor Stephen knew she sent it. Sir Robert smashed a vase when he read your letter. Stephen screamed at the top of his lungs about lowborns and foul bloods. Fortunately, I led Mother and Nathan away before we got in trouble. But I'm proud of you. You defied Father's will. You went against all expectations, against this entire rotten system. You made this decision. Now follow it to the end. I believe this path will lead you somewhere worthy. Take good care of yourself, brother. Well, I had no choice. Okay. You cast one final glance over the room where you lived for so long. Here's the table at which you sat studying all those books. Here's the bed on which you dreamed your dreams of the future. Your things are packed. You walk down the stairs. Your landlord's servile smile is gone now. The upspent remainder of the funds allocated for your accommodations drop onto the counter with his reluctant hand. And then he turns away. You have no lot now. You are free even from the knowledge of your tomorrow. You have cast away your identity, but for what? This remains to be seen. The Brant family will support you no longer, but you will have to find a place to stay in the capital, so you can aid the lotless. So you seek Sophia. I'm afraid I can't offer you a noble estate, but we found a basement in an abandoned house and made it into our home. It's on the bank of the Regelta by the river port. It's livable. There's only one room for everyone, so bring your own bedding, but it's warm and clean, and we have food and a place to keep our things. You'll be safe. After all those carriage rides goes through the city streets on foot, it isn't half bad. The bay wind still gets under your skin, but it also keeps you down on hot days. It also keeps you cool. It also cools you down on hot days. Not that you need it. You were born in Anisinti, the very southernmost part of the capital, and the hot season in the capital is nothing compared to the real heat in Magra. Yeah, okay, so now that we have diverged and gone into the lotless path, now we need to get the manipulation up to 13. It's at 7 right now. I don't know how it's possibly gonna get there. Oh gosh. Yeah. I don't see this. I don't see us winning this. Yeah, I don't. You recall all the hot days in the garden, sitting with father and talking about the lots, about your future in the capital. He used to look at you with such pride. He was so confident you will follow in his footsteps. A chilling gust of wind snaps you out of it. Enough of nostalgia. It's time to face the future you have chosen for yourself. The house where the lotless live is close to the port. The basement entrance is hard to find, but you eventually locate it. Inside is one large room with bedding and belongings strewn all about. Inside is one large room with bedding and belongings strewn all over the floor. You find some free space in one of the corners, so you place your bedding and your things nearby, and you take a good look around. There are only a handful of people in the building. You introduce yourself to them. They show you the utilities, a small kitchen, and a room with a stove and several buckets of water. If you need more water, the river is right nearby. You ask them how long they have lived here. It's about 8 months. One of the lotless tells you. They look over this basement back when they only had 10 members. They took over this basement back when they only had 10 members. Most of them were more or less homeless, disowned by their families, expelled from the college, academy, or seminary. Sophia found a place where they could live together. Everyone sleeps in the basement and meets in the abandoned house above. Yeah, Sophia. Okay, great. Person that's merciless because of what I showed her, and distasteful because I betrayed her. That's the person I was first to align myself with. Wow. Sophia certainly is thoughtful, you intone. That she is, your fellow lotless say, nodding. She takes good care of us, but she's also really secretive and demands that we follow her orders to the letter. Even after all those months, nobody knows where she lives. She only shows herself when she deems it necessary. Soon you come to know the lotless better, and you see that they truly believe in what they are doing. At present, they are trying to expand their ranks and convince the common folk that the present order in the empire can and must be fought. And can do this. You can do this. You have to believe you can do this. You have to do whatever Sophia says. Some of the students you rescued are also here. With their arrival, the ranks of the Lotless practically doubled. The events at the college turned them against the current system. They are eager to act, and so are you. Sophia meets with every newcomer in private. It takes a few days before she finally speaks to you two. Sophia is sitting at the desk behind a pile of papers. She looks worn out and still smiles at you. Hi, there is a reason I wanted to talk to you last. Our ranks are growing, but not everyone is as smart and learned and cunning as you. I need results, and I expect to get them from you. We have to tell the common folk the truth about what happened at the college. It doesn't matter how we do it. The Lotless will never forget, and we will never forgive the nobles for what they did. We have to tell people we exist, and we have to recruit new members. I know you can think of a way to do both. I expect a report in 1 week at our next meeting. Good luck. That's one way to lead. Sophia stops talking and looks at you. You nod. There is something else you want to tell her, but you have no plan just yet. It seems she has no time for small talk. You leave the meeting room. How will you do now? What will you do now? How can you tell people about the Lotless without everyone getting arrested? The best place to do this would be somewhere on the outskirts of the city, in the markets and taverns where commoners tend to gather. You spend the rest of the day strolling through the city streets. After a night of pondering, you have 3 ideas. The first is the safest. Print a lot of leaflets and spread them all across Eterna. Tiny papers are easy to hand out, and all of it takes is a few printed words that hit home, and a printing press. Can you even find a print shop that will support your cause? Plan number 2. Talk about the Lotless to everyone willing to lend an ear. This is a more reliable option. After all, people tend to believe other people more than words on a paper. It's more dangerous too. It's easier to arrest an orator than an author, and your numbers are too few as it is. And then there's plan number 3. The city is still abuzz after what happened at the college. Somewhere out on those frantic streaks are people willing to heed your call. Instead of wasting time and effort telling everyone about the Lotless, perhaps you should focus on recruiting. So I could print the leaflets, condemn the nobles, truth, or I could start combing the city taverns and public houses, searching for more like-minded people among students and youth. I think condemning this, spend some willpower, try to get ahead. You gather the students you rescued a few days ago. You ask them a question. Are they ready to tell people the truth about what happened? They cheer at that. Of course, everyone should know about the injustice perpetrated by the nobles and what Archduke Longroad said, and those who experienced it firsthand at the college should be the ones to spread the word. You discuss the details of the plan together. Right now, all you have to do is open their eyes, convince them that this has to stop, get them ready. There is no need to identify yourself as the Lotless just yet. That would only cause doubt and suspicion. We have to do this step by step. And step 1 is to make the commoners of Eterna realize how the nobles and Arcanians are treating them and make sure they know about the incident at the college. Once you are certain that this has been done, recruiting new members will be easier. Right now, you should describe the Lotless yourselves, as you would describe someone else. There was a group of people who rescued the students. They risked themselves to save innocent lives. No one should get caught. You keep talking until you are sure everyone understands this. If there is a risk, they should run. They should not begin until they are in a place crowded with commoners, like the outskirts of the city or the markets. The ex-student nods to you. Their faces are serious. One of them is furious, furrows his brow in concentration, as though he would prefer to write it all down. There are no questions. However, you spread out across the street of Eterna early next morning in groups of 3. The plan is simple. 2 of the members of each group will find a place in the market where they can be heard by merchants and passerbyers. By then start loudly discussing the college incident. Once they've attracted enough gawkers, one of them will get up into the platform of some kind and loudly tell everyone about the incident. The 3rd member will keep a watch a ways away in case the gender armies come. They meet back in the evening and share the day's results. 3 of you had to run away from the gendarmes, but the others were more successful. One young man even got a few free drinks at the tavern, and his friend had to help him back. You agree to continue the next day. 3 days of speeches is enough to fill the streets of Eterna with rumors. Soon you will start hearing people talk. The nobles have done it this time. We better do something. It's time for a change. The next time you meet Sophia, she rewards you with reserved praise. Well done, Brante. I expected nothing less from you. I'm glad to have you among us. Alright guys, I think we're going to call it here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. And drop a comment if you have any comments on any decisions I could have made better. Especially that one where I couldn't get into the noble estate. That was disappointing. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, a wonderful weekend. Please stay safe out there. I will see you in the next video. Have a great one, guys.